welcome to the Nidhika Bahl Show, the Game of Life series. Today in the studio I have with me Integrative Health Coach for Nutrition, Payal Kothari. Hello Payal, welcome to the show.
Hey Nidhika.
Payal, would you like to say hello to my listeners and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sure. I am an integrative health coach for nutrition, and I have been on this journey for years and years together. And right now, since January 2017, my mission has been to empower and guide teens, tweens, and young adults, empower them about nutrition, fitness, mental wellness, and spiritual practice.
So, Payal, what experience do you have in the field of nutrition and wellness?
So it's been a lifetime of experience, Nidhika, very frankly. What started as flaunting my muscles, calves, curves, took off as a professional journey for me. It's been over 2 decades that I have been empowering my friends, my family, myself, anybody and everybody around me. Professionally, I've been on this journey since the last 5 years. And I'm mainly looking at obese youth of our country and the malnourished as well, because I think India has a double burden of malnutrition and obesity.
Right.
Since the last 5-7 years, and since I've moved back from Hong Kong, I mean, I've seen like good genetics in Hong Kong, good food in Hong Kong. I've seen like the young crowd being very fitness conscious, health conscious, body image conscious. And then when I moved to Bombay, I couldn't help but compare that what has gone wrong with the youth of our country. Either they're obese or they're malnourished. So out of 3, I found one was either obese and the other one was malnourished.
Right.
Like the second one was never in proportion to her age and her height and her weight. So
Right.
those 2 anyways weren't, but nor was the second one. So I was wondering what's gone wrong. So I've tried to, understand and figure out, because I have a 14-year-old myself.
Right.
So I know what emotions are going through her, and puberty struck, and so food and nutrition has become a big part in my family. So I'm trying to integrate that as well in my education and empowerment of the youth, and it seems to be working.
So, Payal, for those of us who get overwhelmed by information on nutrition, could you please explain what is integrative nutrition?
Sure. Integrative nutrition is a combination of all elements that help a human to be healthy at their optimal level, to be at their peak in their life at all times. Consolidating nutrition, fitness, emotional health, physical health, and the circle of life, be it your career, your relationships, your spiritual practice.
Interesting. So what you're really saying is that as long as all aspects of a person's being is in balance, that
Yeah.
is when nutrition also plays an important role to bring it in
Yes.
balance, or nutrition is a component of being in balance?
It's actually both. You're correct when you say both of that you need to integrate nutrition within that circle of life, and it's also a huge component.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay, so Payal, I know that your mission to kind of learn and teach principles of nutrition came from a very young age holiday when you went whitewater rafting with your family. Is that correct?
That's right, yes.
So, Payal, please share with us what exactly happened on that holiday and why did you decide to pursue a career in this field?
So I must have been around 18, and this happened in Kullu Manali. My family wanted to go whitewater rafting, and out of 8 of us, like only 4 were allowed to whitewater raft.
Really? Why is that?
There's a waiver form, Nidhika, which you fill, and with the waiver form has a lot of illnesses and diseases written. And if you
Right.
put a tick on any one of them, you can't whitewater raft. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
So out of 8, 4 were not allowed to whitewater raft. And imagine in this beautiful valley of Kullu in the rapids of River Bias, 4 Gujaratis were of different age groups were not allowed to whitewater raft. So that came to me as a huge disappointment, because my dad, he was 45 at that time, but when he was 38, he had gone through a pancreatic surgery. My mom was on hypertension medications because she had high blood pressure and she was constantly stressed about 3 girls that she had to raise. My older sister had a tiny toe fracture, so she was not allowed. And another uncle of mine was on anxiety and depression medications.
Oh my God.
Yeah, these 4 were not allowed to whitewater raft. And that's when it struck me that means if I'm 18 and I can go whitewater rafting, but when I'm 30, 40, 50, 60 and much older, I will not be able to go through any of these adventure sports. And
Right.
for me, these experiences are all that matter. And this realization of how fitness and nutrition our basic necessities to enjoy great, simple, and natural experiences. That's what got me into fitness and nutrition. Let me tell you that however enthralling this adventure sport is, but it's also very physically demanding. And on that raft, we were 15 of us, and we had 4 instructors, and they kept, using this phrase, adrenaline rush, feel the adrenaline. And I didn't know what the hell did that word mean. I was 18 and I was new, so. And I was embarrassed to ask them at that time, but then I went back home and figured out what adrenaline means and where it's produced from. And the adrenaline gland looks like an avocado. So that got me really excited that what's an avocado? Who knew when I was 18 what's an avocado? So I went back searching for avocados and I understood that how important the fat is, how important proteins are, how important complex carbohydrates are, the fiber, prebiotics, probiotics, all of that to enjoy your life to the fullest. It could be adventure sport, it could be athletics, it could be just going for a walk, it could be playing soccer with your child, it could be swimming with your friends, or just hanging out, and still being at your your focus, your concentration, you're ready to take action.
Yes,
right?
yes, right.
Yeah.
In fact, it's interesting you say that, because it's not just for these activities. Even otherwise, if a person is fit,
Yeah.
no matter what what emotions one may be going through, but if you're
Exactly.
physically fit,
Right.
you can deal with them in a much healthier way, isn't it?
Exactly. At any age, right?
any
Whether
age,
you're
definitely.
18, 30, 40, 50, 60, at any age, you want to be able to live your life to the fullest.
Absolutely. So, Payal, just for the sake of my audience, I would really like to ask you this one more time. What role does nutrition play in helping us withstand the pressures of the game of life?
It plays a huge role. If you're laid back, if your nutrition is low, or if your fitness levels are not so great, not at the peak when on demand, I don't know how well you'll be able to play the game of life, because today's life is different. It's
Yes.
not like the 80s and 90s. It's
Very challenging.
It's very challenging, it's competitive, it's very different.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Payal, although we all know that a healthy diet is a key to looking and feeling better, sometimes it's easier said than done. Would you agree? People come with that challenge, right?
I don't agree.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. I beg to differ.
Really?
I don't know why everyone complicates it. Nidhika, it's so simple. It's not rocket science. Just eat what our grandparents ate. Where we come from. I come from Gujarat. So I eat dhokla, I eat khaman. I eat all of that.
Right.
What my body can accept and adapt to.
Native food, which is...
Native food, which is not processed, which is minimally processed. I call it down to earth. When a cow grazes, it's down to earth. We are supposed to eat like the cow, but obviously not off the grass, right?
Yeah.
But that's how I explain to all my young adults that let's be down to earth and let's eat minimally processed foods.
So, on that note, can you share with us an example of your daily eating habits, and what does your breakfast, lunch, and dinner look like?
Sure, I'd love to. So I start my morning with wheatgrass juice. So I line my stomach with prebiotics. After that, I have I soak chia seeds and sabja seeds, like the Gujarati takmariyas. I soak it overnight in coconut milk. So it's homemade coconut milk. It's not out of a box. I soak it overnight. And then I remove it in the morning and I add all my fruits to it. On top of that, I add all the nuts. So I make it like a, nice enriching breakfast for me. After that, I have coconut water. I have the entire malai of it, believe it or not. So that's my breakfast. Then comes lunch. I eat roti, sabji, dal. So I'm not a big fan of rice. So anyways, I don't like rice, so I skip rice. After that, I have a tall glass of buttermilk after an hour of my lunch. So till 3:30, I'm kind of sorted. Or 4:30, if I'm hungry, I'll grab a fruit on the go. Or I'll have somebody just toss me another, like a suka bhel with lots of sprouts and chana. Or I'll just probably sometimes order a open sandwich, So I just do one slice of the bread and I load it up with a lot of potatoes, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, chutney, masala. I just love it. And that's it. Then it's dinner time. So dinner could be a bengan bharta, bajri ka roti. We have soup every day before dinner. And our soups could be mixed vegetable soup, vegetable broth soup, dudhi tomato soup. So yeah, we have various different kinds of soups.
Wow.
Yeah. We also do a very interesting Mongolian wok at home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like a stir fry with all veggies. There could be bhindi also in it. So yeah, it's really strange, but it tastes yum. And you can have that wok with rice, or you can just have it plain. My kids have it sometimes with noodles. Yeah, that's our dinner. And post dinner, if we're still like hungry or craving stuff, then most of us grab fruit. Or my daughter loves white chocolate. She'll have a white chocolate. My Arjun Raj loves milk chocolate, so he'll have some milk chocolate. That's it.
And it's okay to have sugar in the night?
It's okay. I mean, I don't see any harm unless you're really looking at losing weight. Then I wouldn't recommend sugar. But if you're on a maintenance diet and if you're working out well and you want to strike a balance between the caloric intake and the caloric outtake, then I don't see any harm in eating whatever you like.
Right.
Because, Nidhika, once you start listening to your body, what it's craving, and once you give it that, it stops craving for more. So you don't gorge or you don't go back with a vengeance.
It's a very different take on nutrition I'm getting to hear from you, Payal. I'm kind of absorbing.
It is. I graduated from the world's largest nutrition school last year, and it says exactly what our gurus or our yogis or our munis said, that local cow, native cow, unprocessed cow. Like, I don't remember opening a packet in my entire childhood. Like, my mom made all the chakris, puris, wafers, everything at home. So I don't remember, and nor do my kids. Like, none of us open a packet. Can you believe that? Not a packet. Like, nobody eats wafers or junk food in the house. Not because it's not allowed, but because it's not in habit.
Right. So, Payal, you mentioned that the number one health issue in today's teenagers is either malnutrition or obesity.
That's right. We have a double burden.
Right. So, how do you suggest, that issue should be tackled in teenagers?
So the first 2-3 sessions just go in understanding what emotional issues is that teenager coming to me for. Right. So once I handle that, then I start decoding what is going wrong in their lives. And it's usually stems from bad body image issues. Like, I'm not good enough, I don't look as good as blah blah blah, or I don't have a body like Selena Gomez, or it's usually that. Then it becomes really easy for me to hack into what is going wrong and why they can't handle their weight.
Interesting again, yeah. So, do you run workshops or do you have one-on-one clients? How does it work?
I usually do one-on-one clients. It's like they have to come to me for 12 sessions. That's a minimum. Every week they come to me, and we don't focus on a lot of the weighing scale. So we focus more on inch loss and how that person's feeling. And most of them by the 3rd, 4th session come to me saying my pants are loose, my t-shirt's falling off the shoulder, and my hair's looking brighter and shinier. And their skin, like, I've taken before after pictures, the 1st session and the 3rd, 4th session. And the dark circles are gone, their acne, pigmentation, the frown on their face, the frustration, the stress. They just transform into the real teenager, the real age that they are supposed to be looking.
Yeah, so they look like their age.
Exactly,
right.
Exactly. Like, by the 3rd, 4th session, things change. And I also do workshops, Nidhika. I do cooking workshops. I call it Cooking with Vitamin L. That's cooking with love. And the teenagers find it very cliched, but I love it. And we cook together, we eat together. And
how often do you do that?
I do it once every 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm mainly doing these workshops for kids who are going to the university.
Right.
And because most of them, they start going to the university and either knock 15-20 kilos or gain 15-20 kilos. As I told you, there's no balance.
Right. It's
both
either, bad eating habits,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. So either they're losing muscle and water, or they're putting on a lot of fat. So I empower them that I agree university has like all worst foods. Like, all the worst chains are in universities abroad, right?
Yes.
All chains. And there's so much in the face that you can't help but indulge.
Absolutely.
So out of the worst choices, to pick the best choice. So I empower them with that, and I help them make smoothies, which are quick fixes, like, smoothie banaya, keep it like overnight. You can deep freeze the smoothie. You can pull it out whenever you want. Carry fruits on the go. I do quick fruit bowls, as I explained, the breakfast that I have.
Right.
So soak your seeds overnight, toss in some fresh fruits, and you can carry that like a takeaway. And you know what? There's one very interesting thing. This client of mine told me that, Payal, because I am the cook in my dome and in my service department, I don't need to do anything else. Like, everything else, my laundry's looked into, my cleaning's looked into. I don't have to clean vessels. So he has an advantage because he's the chef.
Right.
Yeah, and he's like a quick home chef.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's true because, I remember when I was in college in UK, we had duties divided like that, So there was one person who was the chef, and well, I used to wash utensils because I didn't know any any better.
Oh.
And then somebody had a car, so he would be the one driving us around to buy the groceries. But it was a lot of fun, So
Yeah,
it was a lot of
yeah.
fun. So do you also get adult clients to come to you?
Yes, in fact, a lot.
So when somebody approaches you for obesity, what
Yeah.
is like, a lot of people go and, you have these quick fix weight loss
Yeah.
programs available in the market, and, everybody is like right in your face, attracting you with something with the promise of instant results and things like that.
Right, yep.
So, and as you rightly
And putting pictures of before, after.
yeah, absolutely. Some of them have been photoshopped beautifully, I have to
Yes,
say,
yes.
and they really
Right.
never work. So I just wanted to know, when somebody approaches you for an obesity problem, how do you approach the issue?
Okay, so first things first, I give them a circle of life and I'd ask them to rate it from 0 to 10. And then we start marking and understanding where they are in that circle of life. And that circle of life has a lot of modalities. It's not just food and workout, there are a lot of other modalities in it. After that, then I move on to their gut health. Nidhika, in today's day and life, if you have a leaky gut, nobody knows about what a leaky gut is. But if you have a leaky gut, and you have inflammation all over your body, do whatever you want. Starve yourself to death, but you will not lose weight. Because if the balance of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria is not in place, it's not gonna work. Let me give you one amazing research, and it's scientifically proven that if you opened your enteric nervous system, from which runs from your nose to your anus, if you opened it, the surface area of that is as big as a tennis court.
Really?
Yes. Imagine good and bad bacteria jumping on that tennis court, and that depends on whether you're putting in processed food, you're killing the good, and whether you're eating natural foods, you're multiplying the good bacteria. So we need to strike a balance on that. So first thing I do is understand their gut health, and then I move on to what they should eliminate from their diet to start off with, to do a detox and a rejuvenation program.
Right.
And once those sessions are liberating them from all their issues, it's got to become a lifestyle and a habit.
It's got to become innate at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
it's like your second nature. Otherwise, it always keeps feeling like you're on a diet for some reason, even if you're not.
True,
right?
Very true. I never use the word diet. Trust me, because all diets fail.
Yeah. So inflammation seems to be a cause of most health-related issues these
That's
days.
right,
Is that correct?
yeah.
So can you tell us what is the best food to eat or not to eat to help reduce inflammation in the body?
So not to eat would be aerated drinks, processed foods, spicy food, and the good stuff would be, for the good bacteria for it to grow and multiply, would be yogurt, fermented foods. I would go back to eating a lot of ghee, coconut oil. I would do a lot of aloe vera. I ate a lot of aloe vera to fix my gut. I ate a lot of amba haldi. It's called amba haldi curcumin, which is very popular abroad these days.
Right.
So that kind of lined my intestines and my stomach, which helped fix my good bacteria.
So is there a test to check that your, the gut is leaking? How do you know that the gut is leaking?
Yeah, there are many tests, but I don't put them through these tests because they're not at such a terrible stage that they come to me. Right? So I just try and fix it without any medication or without any tests, because these days tests are very expensive. So what I do is I start eliminating. It's like most people are gluten intolerant. Some of them are lactose intolerant.
Correct.
Because there are hormones injected in everything these days.
Right.
So we start doing an elimination diet.
Ah, okay. So you basically take the person through their diet and you look for foods which
Exactly.
are like negative, and you remove them and you introduce some positive ones. So, just on a fun note, I would like to know, what's your favorite health snack?
My favorite health snack is baked chana chor.
Oh.
Yeah, I toss in a lot of carrot, cucumber, lots of lemon, lots of coriander, celery, and then I have that as an evening snack.
There's something I've noticed, that in every snack there are lots of veggies, right? It's almost like you're finding interesting ways to eat vegetables, right?
Exactly. So I do like an 80-20. So 80 is the good stuff, and 20 if I'm junking. Even that I'll try and incorporate some fiber. So it keeps my gut healthy.
So, Payal, you know what? I'm sure after listening to this podcast, a lot of people will want to get in touch with you either for themselves or for their teenagers. So, what is the best number, best email? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. So to get in touch with me and to change your game of life, you can call me on 9819485159. I practice from South Bombay. I have a Facebook page also as Payal Kothari, and my Instagram is Payal Kothari 007, as in James Bond 007. Yeah.
Are you a James Bond fan?
Huge.
Me
Huge.
too. Okay. Payal, thank you so much for sharing your contact details with the listeners. I'm sure they'll want to get in touch with you. But before you leave the studio today, I want to ask you one final time, one advice which you really want to give my listeners so that, they can keep that in mind and look at nutrition in a different light.
To up your game of life, just be down to earth and always remember that diets fail.
Very well said, Payal. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm truly grateful that you came on my show. Thank you very, very much.
You're most welcome, Nidhika. My pleasure.
So thank you guys for listening to us today. I'll be back soon with another incredible guest. So hang in there. See you soon. Bye-bye.